transcendental meditation. I've had a couple people on the show who've talked about this, and I've met some people in my own life, and I've gone to a course for transcendental meditation. I paid the investment. I learned it. I've got my mantra, right? And I did it for a bit, and I definitely found benefit in it. The part where I got snagged up is the whole meditating twice per day, because I would do it once in the morning, but then later in the day, I'm go go go. I'm to all these different places, and I couldn't really find a great time to incorporate the second meditation. So kind of a twofold question here, just curiosity. And
Sure.
for those who don't know what transcendental meditation is, I implore you to go check it out, look it up, see what it entails. But I guess the first question is, what's the biggest benefit that you find from this, to the extent that you've done it for all of this time, and how do you use it in your life? Meaning, like, what does your day look like when it comes to TM? Are you doing it in the morning and the afternoon? How often? You mentioned the morning, so kind of a twofold question there.
Yeah, and let me clarify. I do not practice TM. I practice a yogic practice called Short Shabad Yoga.
Okay.
So, but it is a mantra-based yoga, but it's more of what they call a bhakti yoga, a yoga of devotion, and being able to go out into the world and make that kind of contribution. So, it's more of a process that when you sit in meditation, again, I'll reiterate, it aligns you to a higher purpose.
Yeah.
Because if you're aligned to a higher purpose and you're anchored to that, then your ability to be more congruent and consistent is not coming from what you're going to get from your congruency, like what's your payback and your secondary gain. It comes from who you are and how you see others and how you see the world. And when you see the world not as a divisive place, but more as when people wake up in different levels and different degrees, and all it is that people need the education to actualize themselves more. They need tools. And if they don't have the tools, they can't actually wake up and educate themselves. So I've been this educator now since I was 17, probably before that. And, working always, I've always run meetings. I've always run ceremonies. I've always done study groups since I was a kid. And when I was in high school, I was running these lunchtime concerts in the auditorium, because what I do is I charge like 50 cents to get in. We do light shows, and we'd have a live band, and I would collect the money, and then I would go and donate it to a variety of different institutions, specifically Native American reservations. So I'd take the money, I'd go out to the reservations, I'd hand it to the people that were in power. I'd say, this is, our contribution to the Native American community.
Why the Native Americans?
That's really a good question too. I have had this deep love for the indigenous people. I think the indigenous people had a certain level of wisdom that we've lost. I've studied with the Aboriginal lawkeeper from all the tribes of Western Australia. She was the authority and is the authority. I've worked with shamans in Peru in the Sacred Valley. I've worked with kahunas on the Big Island of Hawaii. I've been sweat lodge keeper for an Arikara Hadeshka medicine woman for 10 years. And I've studied and trained in India for over 60 years.
Wow.
So what I want to just say, well, no, not that long, 56 years. So what I'll say is that there is a golden thread that runs through not only Christianity and Islam and Judaism and Hinduism, but even through the indigenous races, there is this golden thread that runs through it all. And if we're all looking at how we're going to unify ourselves, because if we look at the disruption that's happening in our world right now, a lot has to do with people. People do not see sameness, they see differences. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, there's a certain level of unity that just being human gives us. And there's a golden thread that binds us all. And whatever you focus on, and I know you know this, Brandon, but whatever you focus on, you make stronger. you make stronger. Why? Because your thoughts and your emotions are literally building neurosynaptic connections that form superhighways through your nervous system. Your thoughts are electrical charges that flow down the pathway of the densest neurological pathway that you form through repetition and through habit. So all this means is that we are constructing ourselves daily by our repetition of the thoughts we think. And the emotions that ensue is a consequence of the thoughts that we think.
Yeah.
We're in control of our minds and what we focus on, therefore, what we build into our identity. You know, Buddha really said it best from the Dhammapada. He said, let me see if I can quote this. The thought manifests as the word manifests as the deed.
Mm.
The deed turns into habit. The habit hardens into character. So watch your words and your thoughts with care and let it spring for concern for all living things. For as
Wow.
the shadow follows the body, as we think and speak, so we become.
That's an incredible quote.
And encased in that quote is literally the owner's manual for how you evolve.
The owner's manual.
It is that quote itself opens up the door for the owner's manual for your mind. Because think about it this way. Your thoughts are based upon your classical conditioning. Like, how did you become you, Brent? If you looked at that, you grew in the neurochemicals of your mother's womb, your thought, not your thoughts, but your body, your bones, your organs, your flesh, were all formed in the neurochemicals of your mother's womb. Every emotion she had, every thought she had, every engagement she had with your father during your gestation, your body grew in the vibration and the emotional resonance of everything she felt and thought.
Wow.
Now, do you think that would have an impact on you?
Yes.
Of course it would. So we birth out into the world. We have more neurological connections firing off between birth and 7 than any other time in our life. And we are these quantum sensing devices, and we're meaning-making creatures. So how we do this is we have a key significant event, and the first one is your birth experience. And then we create constellations of beliefs around those events because we're always trying to make meaning so that we can survive the stimulus of the world. When that all occurs, we start building up a construct of beliefs. And that becomes one of the densest filters that we see our reality through. So it all will come back to the key significant events and the beliefs that we constructed around that. Our beliefs become a hierarchy of importance. And the really important beliefs become our values.